Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avataravarishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, a man who has realized God shows certain characteristics. He becomes like a child, or a madman, or an inert thing, or a ghoul. Further, he is firmly convinced that he is the machine and God is the operator. That God alone is the doer and all others are his instruments. As some Sikh devotees once said to me, even the leaf moves because of God's will. One should be aware that everything happens by the will of Rama, the divine will. The Sikh Guru says, merge your will with the divine will. You will never err and you will safely reach. Merging the individual will in the divine will. God will be expecting something to happen, something to be done. The law of nature or the plan of nature is evolution of jiva. So the main path that we have to follow is how will I evolve to my divinehood? Is there any traces of animalhood in me? Is still at the human level alone? Have I evolved to the divine level? So the constant introspection, where am I? What am I doing? This introspection must go on. Then we slowly try to understand. When the introspection is going on, and I know the path of what nature is expecting. Simple understanding that nature is there for the sake of jivas, and jivas have to evolve, go back to the source from where they have come. Whole nature's plan is to send you back to the source. That means from perfection we have come, from divine we have come. We have acquired, just like water falls from the sky as rain. When it is falling, it is absolutely pure, unstained. The moment it touches the ground, it immediately you see that it has become dirty. And as it flows down, it goes on acquiring more and more dirt. Like that, we have come absolutely pure from the divine. But the moment we come into the realm of time and space, I am conscious, this consciousness has Ichcha Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti always. The Ichcha is, I have to go back to my original state of being, the Absolute. I must get back my Satchidananda state. But I have been brought here. And here we see that Ichcha Shakti is going back and Jnana Shakti is Jnana of the external world. I can see all the objects of enjoyment. I think if I hold on to that, it may give me peace, it may give me joy, it may give me freedom. So I run. The moment I touch anything of this world, karma has begun. So we enter into the karmic cycle. Now, the karmic cycle is such a thing, the acquired momentum goes on dragging me in the same direction. And we see helplessly we start moving in one direction where I am constantly searching for enjoyments. This happens. Now, where does the divine will come from? Divine will is entirely different. The plan of nature is different. My tendencies have become entirely different from divine and nature. Nature wanted you to take back. Now, where does the divine will and what does it expect? Divine is the substratum in which the whole universe is appearing and disappearing. In the absolute existence, the creation appears and disappears. The universe is there in this absolute existence, the relative existence, time, space and causation bound, relative existence, the universe there in the Satchidananda Sagara of the as Brahman. In Brahman it appears, in Brahman it dissolves. Here we see God is the substratum of existence, he is Adhara. The universe is Adheya. And having nothing can exist without Chaitanya, nothing can exist without God, pure Chaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanya. Here we see God is pervading the entire universe and all beings and giving existence to all that exist. Now God is impartially there like space. In space we see in space we see absolute equanimity, all accommodative. These properties are there in space, Akasha Tattva. As it comes lower and lower, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi, all this, when it comes to the lower, the degree of consciousness is decreasing, matter is increasing. Now, every being, human existence, so many varieties of jivas, all are pervaded by God, and God specially manifests in jiva, as the indweller, Antaryamin. And this Antaryamin wants you are divine, my child, I am with you. Constant awareness of God being with me and I being divine. This awareness, you have to, all that you do in this world must be, I am divine. I have to behave like divine. I am not animal. I am not even human. I am divine. This divinity that you are, from divine you have descended. How did you acquire the animalhood? How did you acquire the humanhood? Now drop them away. You are mine. I am with you at all times. Lives after lives you are going. I am there with you. Lives after lives. So the God, the will of God, you try to understand when you come to this stage of understanding what is God. Where is He? His substratum is all pervading. He is specially manifest in every jiva as the Antaryamin, and by His will the whole creation came into existence. So too we came, and by His will everything is happening. And by His will we have to go back. His will, what is interfering is my will, independent of His will. Now, vehicle wants to go in a particular direction. I am dragging it elsewhere. So my will is their individual will, Because Ichcha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, power of action, Ichcha Shakti, power of volition, and Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti are within me also. God has absolute. We have partial. Jnana Shakti is Sarvajñatva, and I have Alpajñatva. And whatever I know is of the external world. Bahir Prajna, Bahir Jnana. Antarjnana is not there. Transcendental, I don't know anything. So when I come here, I see I have a will and God has a will. Divine will. Divine will always expect, be divine, my child, be divine. Whatever you do, whatever you think, whatever you act upon, whatever you acquire, whatever you renounce, whatever you do it as divine. So God's will comes into here, but the source, when it's put into action, though you have a freedom to drive the vehicle in any direction. When the vehicle was made, it was made for a particular purpose, in a particular way to go. The whole is set in a particular manner. It's a system. The vehicle on the earth, same you cannot move on the moon. It is designed for the earth. It is designed for move in a particular way. Now, how does the accident happen? Because everything is nicely designed to move in a particular way. How? Because the driver has his own will independent of the understanding and will of the Creator. So this becomes the accident. Now, if you go understand the purpose for which the vehicle was made, how a beautifully designed vehicle. Everything is going on in a perfect order, and it is meant for a particular purpose. So the purpose for which the nature is made is for the jiva to go back to the source. And the will of God is the new descendants of the constant. There must be descendants of jivas. They must evolve and go back to the source. My individual will is trying to take it, but this individual will also belongs to the divine, because He has made me in such a way that He has given me the three powers of Ichcha Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti, because of which I am exercising this will is God's will. There is nothing called man's will. Suppose He had not given this freedom of action, of Ichcha Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti, if the jivas were deprived, straight away they would have come from the heaven and gone back to heaven like. From transcendental they would have come, to transcendental they would have gone. But by will, God's will was, they too must have their own freedom of action, freedom of choice, and freedom of knowledge. So this He has given, and what nature is expecting, that you should utilize in the right way. The nature is in between the jiva, and jiva has been given freedom and responsibility to work out the whatever you do. As you sow, so you reap. That law is there. Now you are law bound. Whatever you do, good or bad, you have to work out. You have to experience its results. This freedom is also given, and an obligation is also put. You have the freedom to act, but remember, you have to work out. You have to experience its result also. Result is yours. Here comes in between nature. Nature's plan of nature is, she has given you body, she has given you mind, she has given you senses. all this, though according to law of nature, God's will, and your own karmic load, all are mixed. So everything is happening. You are going in a wrong direction because God has given, by His will, you have got the freedom to act. And by His will, there is a law that you have to reap your own fruits of the action. So everything is happening, you will see, by the will of God. But still, the only where we are making mistake is there is nature asking us to go. You are acquiring your own nature. Nature wants you go in a particular way of evolution. Evolution of Jiva is plan of nature. So here comes the concept of will of God. Some sick devotees once said to me, even leaf moves because of the God's will. One should be aware everything happens by the will of Rama. Guru Nanak says, merge your will in the divine will. You are safe, you will safely reach the goal. The weaver said, the price of the cloth by the will of Rama is 1 rupee 6 annas. By the will of Rama, robbery was committed. By will of Rama, the robbers were arrested. By the will of Rama, I too was arrested by police. At last, by the will of Rama, I was released. This is a story which Sri Ramakrishna has already told earlier. That story goes that a honest devotee of Rama was there. He used to offer all his actions consciously to Rama and take everything as the will of Rama. When a person moves, that he is in constant company with God. He is maintaining God's existence as if holding with him and is moving. He has not deviated from the memory of God. He is constantly remembering the God's presence. When I am moving in the company of God, there is no question of my will. When a child moves with father, the whole thing is father's will. How to go, what to. Child may demand, ask, weep, but who is holding the hand will not allow the child to go in a way that it wants. He will see that he has the child will not err because father is holding it. Like that, this devotee was constantly in the company of God, full awareness of God. In the thought of God, he was used to do all the actions. The living in a family life with all earnings, this everything. He used to remain in the company of God. He used to remain in the company of God. So that he was a weaver. He used to weave clothes and sell. And price of the cloth will be, the weaver said, price of cloth by the will of Rama is 1 rupee 6 annas. He used to tell very clearly. Anybody asks, he used to sell the cloths in the store, street or here, there, wherever he used to. He would weave every day and bring whatever cloth he has weaved and sell it. Anybody asking, he will tell, the cloth has costed me so much. This is my efforts, and this is the price I am selling. This is the profit I am getting. He used to clearly, by the will of God, this is the my investment. I have to buy the thread. It has the expenses that I have done to create this cloth is so much. I have the profit 2 annas. This totally cost this much. They will pay and take and go away because he's such an honest person. He will never cheat or anything. They may bargain. Why 2 annas profit you are keeping? Why don't you give me? I don't have money. I am a poor man. Others may pay off and take away. So, but he was known to be extremely honest, and he was true devotee of God, and he used to bring will of God every moment. Oh, Rama's will, Rama's will. Whether suffering comes, something happens. Once a group of thieves theft in a house somewhere, and they were carrying the load. They could not carry long. They saw this person. They caught hold of him and kept the whole thing on his head and asked him to come with them. The police people were in search and were moving. Seeing the police people, the thieves ran away. And the burden which he was carrying was what was theft. Police caught, and he got the red end. He was caught. Whatever they had stolen is on his head. The police caught him and took him to the police station. Then he disclosed, this is what has happened by the will of Rama, by the will of Rama. And then the other police were searching who could catch the real thieves also. And then it was presented to, before the thieves were caught, they have already put a case against this person, and he was arrested and kept in the police station. Then all people came to know he is there in the police. They go and tell the judge, he is an honest man, he will never do such a thing. And the judge released him. And when he was caught also, he simply goes with the police people. He tells the truth. By the will of Rama, the thieves stole these materials. They loaded it on my head by will of Rama. I was carrying it because of their force. I was carrying it, and by the will of Rama, police people caught me. I was put in a jail, and by the will of Rama, I was released. That story is that Sri Ramakrishna is telling that story. Everything happens by the will. When you see, the essence of story is when things go wrong. Why did God do like this? Doesn't come into picture. By the will of God, I was to suffer. By the will of God, when suffering comes, when bondage comes, when losses come, then also he sees with the same sightedness, oh, by will of God, it happened in my life. Great shocks of life. A child dying in young age, when he is perfectly all right, suddenly he dies. How will you take? There is no disease, there is no accident, nothing. Goes to school and comes back and is playing, suddenly he sits and dies off. What happened? Nobody knows. Now, these shocks, how to bear? Very difficult to bear. There he sees the will of God. By will of God, I got a child. By will of God, I lost a child. Everywhere, when suffering and bondage comes, when profits and labha, when people praise, by will of God, these people are praising. At all times, in pain and pleasure, in joys and sorrows, in whatever happens, he goes on. When he was released, when he was caught, also by the will of Rama. When the judge asks, whole story it tells by the will of Rama. When he was released, they come and ask, oh, are you released? Yes, by the will of Rama, I am released. If I am kept there whole life also doesn't matter. It's will of Rama. So when we understand, means in suffering, when things go wrong in some other way, then don't miss that will of Rama. When we do certain good things and people praise and we get, it is profitable, it is favorable, I accept it as will of Rama. When things go wrong, then it is very difficult to accept it as will of Rama. God has done injustice. Their will of that God, whole this one blame is put on God. And I was so much devoted to Him. All the day I was doing japa, and this is what happened in my life. I got diabetes, my leg was cut, and all these things. He tells, he blames. Their will of God doesn't come into picture. That has to come. Everything is happening by will of God. It was dusk. Sri Ramakrishna had no rest since the midday meal. He had talked unceasingly to the devotees about God. See, these people, great people, you will see that their life in the early stages of these Mahatmas, the saintly people, and especially the Ishvara Kotis, who have come down only for the sake of welfare of the society and others, and avatars when they come, they don't have, as if they don't have freedom. And these people have, in the beginning of their time, they will be intensely working to release themselves from all bonds and obligations of the all kind of release. I want freedom, I want freedom. After that they get freedom. Freedom comes only by realization of God. After reaching the perfected state, then they continue the same process of totally giving. Totally giving means they have given themselves unconditionally to people and others. There we see there is no rest. Almost all, and because they have come out of the tamas, first thing that drops off is tamas. The concept of Gudakesha and Rishikesha. Arjuna is called Gudakesha, who has dropped away the tamas. He has emerged out of tamas. And Rishikesha is the lord of the senses, Rishikesha. Rishika means senses. Gudakesha, Gudaka means the sleep, tamas, has emerged out of tamas. So they don't find need to nourish the body, or the awareness of body doesn't stay in there. They toil day and night. Like karma yogis, they have given their body and mind to society and God. No more withdrawal. No more attention to pay towards body. So Thakur has taken meals, and after meals, while taking meals, they too will be taking meals. Immediately after meals, they all gather. And Thakur is continuing without rest in the afternoon also. And nights, now and then, they lie down for a few minutes, they are awake again. whole night you can see Sri Ramakrishna. When the devotees are sleeping in his own room, disciples, he'll be walking alone, seeing each one, waking 1 or 2. Why are you still sleeping? It's already getting dawn. It is get up and sit for meditation. So this kind of vigilance, they have come out of tamas. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.